name's David Redmon. With my wife, Ashley Sabin. Together we made Night Labor. When we first met Sherman, we just turned our heads and looked up because he's so tall. And that's the first thing we noticed, was just how striking his eyes and his face was. There's a landscape on his face. I mean, all the deep textures and inscriptions and markings. It's almost like a rocky terrain. You know, the coastline of Maine is pretty rocky. That's what it's known for. And so that's when we asked him, what do you do? And this is what we do. Can we make a movie about you? So what we did in this movie was strip away any kind of artifice of a narrative. That is, there's no plot, there's no character development where characters meet another character and they encounter tension, resolution, etc. So we could have made that movie, but we stripped it away. And what we were left with were a series of long takes that established the continuity between time and movement. And so we wanted to play with those long takes and see how they developed into a sort of painterly quality, an immersion into someone's everyday common experience, sort of a day in the life of Sherman. It was shot over the course of a few months, but it appears to take place over the course of a day or two. This is a man's life. It's a very micro way of understanding the particular. You start with the banal or the banal, and it slowly weaves out into other layers of his surrounding environment. He's common to everyone's life. He's on someone else's clock time. That's why the movie opens with him on his time, taking his time, clamming. He's self-sustaining in a way. He's cooking his own meal. Nevertheless, he's using the ecology around him as his resource. And then it cuts to the interval, the transition into someone else's time. And now he's on clock time. So one of the first shots you see as he's punching in with his hand, or scanning his hand, is the clock. It's that tick, 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 tick. And so now he's on someone else's time. The structure of the story is about compression and decompression. It starts outside, inside, and then outside. So as he's clamming, he's outside, then he goes inside into his trailer, inside into the factory. And the more he works, the more constrained he becomes. Until finally, he leaves the factory, and there's a decompression, an opening up, a sigh of relief, a breath, and he's giving, back to the ocean, these fish that he just decapitated, back to the seagulls. And the second shot, I think, that's crucial, that summarizes the movie, is when he's outside smoking a cigarette. It's a point of delaying, of deliberately trying to galvanize as much of his own time separate from work time. And this is why he continues to delay, to pretend to hear noises around him, to open his vest and he puts it back into place, to smoke a cigarette, to look left, and to look right. He's really consciously aware that he has to go back into that factory. And then it hard cuts to these loud lobsters getting shoved into a box, repeatedly. So those two shots right there, I think, work really well together to summarize the movie.